What if I told you the most dangerous thing you do every day isn't driving your car or climbing a flight of stairs? What if it's something you are probably doing this very minute? A groundbreaking 2024 study from the Stanford Longevity Center followed 12,000 adults over the age of 60 for an entire decade. Their findings were nothing short of shocking. They discovered that one specific, common daily habit was more strongly linked to a shorter lifespan than a lack of exercise or even a poor diet. It was a quiet, unassuming habit that most of us consider harmless, even necessary, as we get older. Today, we are going to uncover that habit and 4 others that may be silently stealing years from your life. These are not the obvious dangers you already know about. These are the hidden traps, the seemingly innocent routines that many of us fall into after 60. Before we begin, tell us in the comments now your age and where you're watching us from. We're reading and replying to every single comment. Let's start our countdown of the 5 habits stealing your lifespan after 60. Number 5. Falling for the healthy low-fat trap. For decades, we were told that fat was the enemy. Many of you will remember the explosion of low-fat products that filled our supermarket shelves. Low-fat yogurt, low-fat cookies, low-fat everything. We were taught that to protect our hearts, we had to cut fat out of our diets. But a wealth of modern research has turned that old advice completely on its head. A landmark review published in the Journal of the American Medical Association looked at diet trends over 50 years. It found that as people reduced their fat intake, they dramatically increased their consumption of sugar and refined carbohydrates to make the food taste good. This trade-off has been disastrous for our health. When food companies remove fat, they have to add something else for flavor and texture. That something else is almost always sugar or highly processed starches. These ingredients cause rapid spikes in your blood sugar, promote inflammation throughout your body, and contribute to weight gain, especially around the belly. Your brain, in particular, suffers from a lack of healthy fats. Our brains are nearly 60% fat. They require a steady supply of good fats, like omega-3 fatty acids, to function properly. These fats help maintain memory, focus, and mood. Let me tell you about Arthur, a 78-year-old retired accountant from Ohio. Arthur was always a man who followed the rules. When his doctor told him to watch his cholesterol 30 years ago, he took it to heart. His fridge was a monument to the low-fat era. Skim milk, fat-free cheese, and low-fat spreads were his staples. Yet, Arthur was struggling. He complained of a persistent brain fog that made it hard to do his daily crossword puzzle. His joints ached, and he felt a general lack of energy that he just accepted as part of being 78. During a routine checkup, a new, younger doctor asked Arthur to detail his daily diet. When Arthur proudly described his strict low-fat regimen, the doctor grew concerned. He explained that Arthur's body, and especially his brain, was being starved of essential nutrients. The doctor suggested a simple change. He asked Arthur to swap his fat-free yogurt for a full-fat Greek yogurt. He told him to add a handful of walnuts to his morning oatmeal. He encouraged him to drizzle his salads with real olive oil, not a fat-free dressing full of sugar. The amount of fat we're talking about is not large. Just 1 tablespoon of olive oil, which is about the size of the tip of your thumb, can provide a wealth of benefits. A small handful of almonds, enough to fit comfortably in your palm, is another excellent source. Within a month, Arthur felt like a different man. The fog in his mind began to lift. He found he could focus for longer periods, and his memory felt sharper. Even the ache in his knees seemed to lessen, thanks to the anti-inflammatory properties of healthy fats. Arthur had fallen into a trap he thought was keeping him safe. The real danger was not the fat, but the sugar and processed foods he was eating in its place. Number 4. Social snacking instead of meaningful meals. As we get older, our social lives can change. Sometimes retirement or the loss of a spouse can lead to quieter days. A common way to fill this time is with small social visits. A neighbor stops by for a cup of tea and a biscuit. A friend calls in for coffee and a slice of cake. These interactions are wonderful and vital for our mental health, but they can mask a serious nutritional problem. This habit of social snacking often replaces structured, nutrient-dense meals. You might feel like you've been eating all day, but what you've actually consumed is a series of small, sugary and processed items. A recent study from the Mayo Clinic looked at the eating patterns of over 2,000 adults aged 65 and older. It found a strong correlation between erratic, snack-based eating and the development of metabolic issues. This pattern leads to a roller coaster of blood sugar levels. A cookie or a piece of cake causes a rapid spike in your blood sugar. Your body releases insulin to manage it, but then your blood sugar crashes, leaving you feeling tired, irritable, and craving more sugar. It's a vicious cycle. This constant up and down is incredibly stressful for your body and can contribute to insulin resistance over time. Consider Margaret, an 81-year-old widow living in Florida. Margaret had a wonderful social network in her retirement community. Her days were filled with short visits and social gatherings. Her kitchen counter always had a plate of store-bought cookies or a Danish pastry at the ready. She'd have a pastry for breakfast with her coffee, a few biscuits mid-morning with a neighbor, and a piece of cake at her afternoon card game. When she spoke to her daughter, she'd say, "Oh, I'm not very hungry for dinner, dear. I've been nibbling all day." But Margaret was becoming noticeably frail. She had lost muscle tone, and her energy was at an all-time low. Her doctor was concerned about her weight loss and lack of vitality. The problem wasn't a lack of calories, it was a profound lack of nutrition. She was missing out on protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Her body was being fueled by sugar and white flour, which is like trying to build a house with sand instead of bricks. The solution for Margaret was about structure. Her daughter helped her plan her social visits around proper mealtimes. Instead of just coffee and cake, she started inviting her friends over for a simple lunch. A bowl of hearty vegetable soup with a slice of whole grain bread. A small piece of grilled chicken with a large salad. These meals provided the protein she needed to maintain her muscles and the fiber to keep her digestive system healthy. She still enjoyed her treats, but they became just that, a treat, not the main source of her daily intake. Think of a sugary snack like lighting a match. You get a big bright flame for a few seconds, but then it's gone. A balanced meal with protein, healthy fat, and fiber is like putting a solid log on the fire. It provides a slow, steady, and lasting source of energy that keeps you going for hours. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit that like button so more seniors can see it and subscribe. Number 3, ignoring the language of your legs. Have you ever noticed it's a little harder to get out of a deep, comfortable chair than it used to be? Do you sometimes use your arms to push yourself up? Do you feel a bit unsteady on your feet when you first stand? Most people dismiss these things as just a normal part of getting old. They are not. They are a warning sign. They are the language of your legs, and they are telling you that you are losing muscle. The medical term for age-related muscle loss is sarcopenia. It's a gradual process that can begin as early as your 40s, but it accelerates dramatically after the age of 60 if you are not actively working against it. A powerful study published in the Journal of Gerontology followed a group of seniors for 5 years. The single greatest predictor of their continued independence and longevity was not their heart health or their lung function, it was their leg strength. Specifically, it was how quickly they could stand up from a chair, walk a short distance, and sit back down. This simple test revealed more about their future health than a dozen other measurements. Your leg muscles are the foundation of your mobility and your independence. They are what allow you to walk, climb stairs, carry your groceries, and get up safely if you fall. When these muscles weaken, your risk of a fall skyrockets. And for an older adult, a fall can be a life-altering event, often leading to a loss of independence. I remember Frank, a 72-year-old former postman from Pennsylvania. Frank had spent his entire career walking for miles every day. He prided himself on his strength and stamina, but in retirement, he became much less active. He spent his days reading and watching television. He started noticing that he needed to rock back and forth a few times to get out of his favorite recliner. He told his son, "I guess my get up and go has got up and went." He laughed it off, but his son was concerned. He convinced Frank to see a physical therapist. The therapist explained to Frank that his muscles were like a team of workers. When he was a postman, all the workers showed up for their shift every day. In retirement, he had told most of them to go home. The few remaining workers were struggling to do the job alone. The therapist didn't put Frank on a complex gym routine. He gave him one simple exercise to do every single day. It was the sit to stand. He told Frank to sit on the edge of a sturdy kitchen chair with his feet flat on the floor. Then, without using his hands, He was to stand up straight and then slowly sit back down. He was to do this 5 times in a row, twice a day. At first, Frank could barely do 3 without wobbling, but he persisted. Within a few weeks, he could do 10 in a row easily. After 2 months, he was doing 20. He noticed he could get out of any chair with ease. He felt more stable on his feet. He even started taking his daily walks again, feeling more confident than he had in years. Think of your muscle fibers like a thick bundle of ropes. Every day you are inactive, one of those ropes frays and snaps. You don't notice the first one, or the 10th, or even the 100th. But one day you try to lift something or stand up, and you realize there are not enough strong ropes left to do the job. The good news is that you can always build new ropes at any age. Number 2. Chronic dehydration disguised as old age. How many glasses of plain water have you had so far today? If you have to stop and think, the answer is probably not enough. This is one of the most common and most overlooked health issues facing seniors. As we age, our body's thirst mechanism becomes less reliable. You may be significantly dehydrated without ever feeling thirsty. At the same time, our bodies hold less water than they did when we were younger. This creates a perfect storm for chronic, low-grade dehydration. Now think about the common complaints of old age: fatigue, confusion or brain fog, dizziness, constipation, headaches, dry skin. Every single one of these can be a direct symptom of not drinking enough water. A comprehensive review from Harvard Medical School highlighted that many symptoms attributed to senility or simple aging in older patients were dramatically improved or even completely resolved simply by increasing their fluid intake. Dehydration makes your blood thicker. This forces your heart to pump harder to circulate blood throughout your body, which can cause fatigue and strain on your cardiovascular system. It reduces the volume of blood flowing to your brain, which can cause confusion and dizziness. It's also a major cause of constipation, which is a significant problem for many older adults. Let me tell you about Helen, a 79-year-old from Arizona who loved to spend time in her garden. Lately, she had been forced to cut her gardening time short. She would feel dizzy and overwhelmingly tired after just 30 minutes in the sun. She felt foggy and had trouble remembering things. She worried that these were signs of a serious cognitive decline. She went to her doctor, fearing the worst. The doctor asked her a very simple question. "Helen, what do you drink in a typical day?" Helen replied, "Well, I have a cup of tea in the morning and another one in the afternoon, and maybe a small glass of juice with my lunch." The doctor looked at her and said, "Helen, I don't think you have a memory problem. I think you have a plumbing problem. You are simply not giving your body enough water to run properly." He explained that tea, while a liquid, can act as a diuretic, meaning it can make you lose more fluid. He gave her a simple prescription. She was to buy a reusable water bottle and fill it up every morning. Her job was to make sure that bottle was empty by the end of the day. The goal was to drink about 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. Think of it this way: 1 glass every 2 hours you are awake. That's a very manageable goal. Helen started carrying her water bottle with her everywhere. The change was remarkable. Within a week, her dizzy spells had vanished. She felt a clarity of mind she hadn't experienced in years. Her energy levels soared, and she was back to spending hours in her beloved garden. She had been misdiagnosing herself for months. The problem wasn't her age, it was her water intake. Your body is like a car engine. It needs oil to keep all the parts lubricated and running smoothly. Water is your body's oil. Without it, everything starts to grind to a halt. And now, for the number 1 habit that is stealing your lifespan after 60. This is the habit that the Stanford study identified as being so dangerous. Number 1, the sedentary resting myth. What is the most common piece of advice given to older people? Take it easy. Put your feet up. You've earned a good rest. While well-intentioned, this advice is promoting the single most destructive habit for an aging body: prolonged sitting. We now understand that sitting for long periods is an independent risk factor for poor health, meaning it is harmful even if you get regular exercise. The 2024 Stanford Longevity Center study I mentioned at the beginning was focused on this very issue. Researchers found that adults over 60, who sat for more than 8 hours a day, had a risk of premature death that was shockingly similar to that of smokers. Let that sink in. Spending your day in a comfortable chair can be as dangerous to your long-term health as smoking a pack of cigarettes. When you sit, your body essentially goes into shutdown mode. The large muscles in your legs and back become completely inactive. Your circulation slows down dramatically, especially in your lower legs, which increases your risk of blood clots. Your body's ability to process blood sugar becomes impaired. Your metabolism grinds to a near halt. Take George, an 84-year-old who loved reading history books. After his wife passed away, his world became smaller. His favorite place was his big, comfortable armchair, surrounded by his books. He would sit there for hours on end, often getting up only for meals or to use the restroom. He thought he was just resting, but he was actually accelerating his own decline. He developed severe swelling in his ankles from the poor circulation. He lost so much muscle mass in his legs that he became terrified of falling. His world shrank from his house to just a single room, all because of his chair. His physical therapist didn't tell him to run a marathon. She gave him a concept she called movement snacks. She set a timer to go off every 30 minutes. When the timer rang, George had to get up out of his chair. That was it. He could walk to the kitchen for a glass of water. He could stand and stretch for a minute. He could walk to the window and look outside. The activity itself was less important than the simple act of breaking the cycle of sitting. Just 60 seconds of movement every half hour. That's the time it takes to boil a kettle or watch a commercial on television. Think of prolonged sitting like putting a clamp on a garden hose. The flow of water, which represents your blood and nutrients, slows to a trickle. Taking a movement snack is like releasing that clamp for a minute, allowing everything to flow freely again before you clamp it back down. Those small, frequent releases make all the difference. George started with his 30-minute timer. Soon, he felt so much better that he started looking for excuses to get up. He started doing more chores around the house. He began taking short walks down his driveway. He broke free from the prison of his armchair, one movement snack at a time. So, let's quickly recap the 5 habits. Number 5 was falling for the low-fat trap, and instead embracing healthy fats. Number 4 was social snacking, and the importance of shifting to structured, nutritious meals. Number 3 was ignoring the language of your legs, and the vital need to maintain your muscle strength. Number 2 was chronic dehydration, and the simple, powerful act of drinking enough water. And number 1 was the sedentary resting myth, and the life-saving habit of breaking up long periods of sitting with small movement snacks. The key takeaway from all of this is that your daily habits, the small, seemingly insignificant choices you make every hour, have a far greater impact on your longevity and quality of life than you might imagine. It's not about avoiding one big danger. It's about consistently correcting the small daily habits that can lead you down the wrong path. So I want to ask you, which of these 5 habits resonated with you the most? And what is one small change you might consider making this week? Please share your thoughts below. Your experience could be the very thing that inspires someone else to make a positive change. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe to our channel for more videos designed to help you live a longer, healthier life. Please remember, I am not a medical doctor. The information shared here is for educational purposes, based on extensive research and experience in helping people with their health and diet. Always consult with your personal physician before making any significant changes to your lifestyle.